Shalom, it's your brother Yirach, giving all praise to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rachakwadash, for giving me the spirit to do this lesson. Shalom to the elect, the 1/3 of Israel, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, whom the Lord will have mercy on in these latter days. Shalom to the brothers, the prophets, the men of the Lord, that are preaching and teaching the word in sincerity and in truth on the highways and byways. Shalom to all of you brothers. And this is another update regarding the President Trump. The rhetoric is starting to ramp up, for lack of a better term. Now, in Revelation, it talks about, the beast that, had two horns like a lamb, but spake as a dragon. And all this time, it's been seen like there's these two opposing philosophies in America, Republicans and Democrats. But now you're starting to see that, this was basically just one dragon the entire time, that we're really in captivity, and your only salvation out of this place is coming back and repenting to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, So I wanted to get this. I'll read through this article real quick from CNBC. It says, Governors blast Trump. President's rhetoric on George Floyd protests is dangerous and making it worse. And the rhetoric is going to amp up, They're going to keep demonizing us, Like, ultimately, this is going to be martial law. You can tell by the way that this guy is speaking, He's trying to normalize it. It says, Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker told President Donald Trump during a conference call that his inflammatory rhetoric about violent George Floyd protests is making it worse. So now you have one Edomite going against another Edomite, which is all bullshit. This goes back to that, had two horns like a lamb, but spake as a dragon. As a matter of fact, I'll get that. This is let's see, I forget where it is in Revelation. So lock here. I'll just get it. That's right there in Revelation 13. Revelation 13 and 11. And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon. So don't fall for this left-right, the infighting between, Republicans and Democrats. Ultimately, the real dragon is in power, and there's one goal in mind, and that's to kill you Jakes, you so-called Negroes, and you Latinos and Native Americans, to have control and total power over everything, It says another Democrat governor, Gretchen Whitmer, Michigan, said the call with the Trump was deeply disturbing. So these are Edomites going against other Edomites against Trump. But this is all WWE reality television, man. You can tell there's something. One plan is being put in place. Something very sinister and wicked is occurring. Between it seeming like an accident or an incident, and the whole thing just seeming to be planned, to be honest. And I for one think it's a mixture of both. They planned a big part of this, and a lot of this is the result of it, I should say, is unplanned. Because ultimately they're trying to. When you plan chaos, there's going to be some chaos to it, but you still plan that chaos. You just have protocols on how you address it and do certain things. But ultimately, we know the wicked his hand is at work. Two Democratic governors fired back at President Donald Trump on Monday, accusing the president of inflammatory and dangerous rhetoric. I'll skip down to what Trump was saying. Keep this quick. Somebody said here's a transcript of a testy exchange between the president. Let's see. That's Pritzker. Where is this? Here it is. Another Democratic governor, Gretchen Whitmer, said in a statement, the call that Trump's remarks during it were deeply disturbing. Says instead of offering support to leadership, bring down the temperature at protests. Now, what does that mean? That means rolling on you so-called Jakes. And those Edomites, they're not going to be out there, with you like that. They are out there to instigate and stir things up. And when the shit hits the fan, they're going to be nowhere to be seen. And if any one of them get locked up, they're going to get out, You're going to see Trump's rhetoric about, putting people in prison. He said governors should dominate protesters or you'll look like a bunch of jerks. Slocky, I missed the point up here. President Trump told governors to put it down or we would be overridden, So this thing is happening, man. Martial law is on its way. It's just a matter of time. This thing is happening, The president repeatedly and viciously attacked governors who are doing everything they can to keep the peace while fighting a once-in-a-generation global pandemic. Right, because these plagues are coming on Babylon. They're realizing their greatness that they thought that they had is really very, very frail, especially in the eyes of the Most High. Just like that, the Most High can just turn things up and cause all kind of chaos, because here they are getting hit with this pandemic and trying to keep a lockdown, and they're trying to deal with protests and people wilding out, like it's about to get bad. The president's dangerous comments should be gravely concerning to all Americans because they send a clear signal that this administration is determined to sow the seeds of hatred and division, which I fear will only lead to more violence and destruction, and it will. This is all prophesied. It says we must reject this way of thinking. This is a moment that calls for empathy, humanity, and unity. But where was all of that when y'all took us into slavery, When y'all locked us in chains, When y'all just been watching us be at the bottom rung of society, Like these people are the devil, Let's see, his tweets, his reaction. Where does it go? Salakia. I missed some of his some of his tweets. He was definitely going off here. Was it in his tweets? Right. Oh, this part here, it says Trump's conference call. The nation is castigating many of them for what they call their weak response for the protests. Now here they are, Jake's out there getting, sprayed, pepper sprayed, beat, probably tasered, shot with, rubber bullets, but it's going to ramp up to live action rounds pretty soon, Where was he? He said it's been inflammatory. It's not okay for the officer to choke George Floyd to death, Pritzker said. Trump's, during the call, had said, you have to dominate. There it is. You have to dominate. You're wasting your time. They're going to run over you. You're going to look like a bunch of jerks. And that's all he's really worried about, looking like a jerk. Here it is. All hell's breaking loose for the wickedness that our people are waking up to. And he's worried about looking like a bunch of jerks, But he's right. Because Jake is going to eventually run over you, Says you've got to arrest people. You have to track people. Pay attention to that. You have to track people. You have to put them in jail for 10 years. And you'll never see this stuff again. Wow, bro. Let's get Revelation 2. That's crazy, bro. Let's see. Revelation 2, where Yahweh Shai says, fear none of those things that thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, that ye may be tried, and ye shall have tribulation 10 days. Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life. You know, and it goes on in other parts of Revelation to talk about let no man take thy crown. So ultimately, this rhetoric is going to come into reality when he says, you know, you got to arrest people, you have to track people. Now, how are they going to track us? You know, eventually there could be more protests after the mark of the beast is put out, where they've gotten a lot of you Negroes chipped. You know, he's going to lock you up, put you in concentration camps, you know, and the Lord's just going to have to show up and do his thing, you know. Ultimately, that's where this whole thing boils down to. And you got these other Democrats on the other side trying to what they would call virtue signal, trying to make it seem like they have our best interest at heart, but they're all on the same team. You know, if they had to pick and choose, you know who they're going to choose. You know, this is Daniel 8:25. It says, and through his policy also he shall cause great craft to prosper in his hand. And that's that these so-called left-wing people that you know are giving you food stamps and abortion clinics and pretending that they have the plight of the Negro and the Latinos and Native Americans, but really it says here, and he shall magnify himself in his heart. So that's really all he's doing. He's just trying to make himself. He's just building up his own pride, and the Most High hates pride, you know. And by peace shall destroy many, you know. He shall also stand up against the prince of princes, but he shall be broken without hand. So eventually, they're all going to turn against us, you know, as it's written, you know. And as Yahweh Shai said, fear not, you know, of those things that we shall suffer, you know. I got this last precept here, and I'll wrap it up. It says, but thus saith the Lord of hosts, after the glory hath he sent me unto the nations which spoiled you. And that's them. We're completely spoiled in this land, but nothing, you know, just destroyed. It says, for he that toucheth you toucheth the apple of his eye. For behold, I will shake mine hand upon them, and they shall be a spoil to their servants. And ye shall know that the Lord of hosts hath sent me. You know. So this is about to happen, you know, brothers and sisters. So I just wanted to get that and share that with the body. Hopefully y'all were edified. Stay prayed up. Call hello Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rachakwadash. Shalom.